The sky was not meant for humans. Every gust of wind felt like a predator. Every open field a battleground. Gravity waited silently, ready to punish the slightest miscalculation. Wooden wings tore apart, cloth snapped, bones bruised, blood mixed with dirt. And yet, two brothers Wilbur and Orville Wright stood against it. No fame, no university backing it. Just grease-stained hands, restless minds, and a vision so dangerous it bordered on madness to make humans fly. The world laughed. Experts called them fools. Newspapers ignored them. Every flight risked serious injury or worse. One wrong angle, and the ground would rise to meet them like a predator. But they climbed back into the gliders again and again. Cracked wood, torn cloth, endless failures. Fear whispered, "Quit now, or you won't get back up." Still, they persisted, because deep in the wind, between terror and belief, they saw the impossible waiting to be seized. The sky loomed above, vast, cold, and untamed, and history was holding its breath. The sky was vast, untamed, and merciless. For centuries, humans had looked up in awe, imagining flight, yet grounded by gravity and fear. Birds dominated the air effortlessly, gliding, diving, and turning with a freedom humans could only dream of. To attempt the impossible was to flirt with disaster. One miscalculation, one gust of wind, one weak wing and death could strike. Into this world of danger and doubt stepped two brothers from Dayton, Ohio, Wilbur and Orville Wright. Ordinary men. They had no fortune, no university education, no army of engineers behind them. They had only a relentless curiosity and a dream so daring it bordered on madness, to make humans fly under their own power. The world around them laughed at such audacity. Experts dismissed them. Newspapers mocked them. Family, friends, and neighbors thought they were chasing a fantasy. And yet, the brothers pressed on. They faced the looming threat of injury, ridicule, and repeated failure. Every test flight could be catastrophic. Every experiment could end in disaster. But what they lacked in privilege, they made up for in courage, discipline, and determination. They understood something most did not. Breakthroughs are born in the space where fear is strongest and doubt is loudest. The sky was waiting, vast and indifferent, and history itself held its breath as they dared to challenge the impossible. Dayton, Ohio, in the late 19th century, was quiet and unassuming, with flat streets, small shops, and ordinary lives. But inside a modest bicycle repair shop, two brothers were building something extraordinary. Wilbur and Orville Wright transformed everyday mechanics into a gateway to the skies. Bicycle chains, gears, and wheels were their teachers, revealing principles of balance, motion, and control lessons that would eventually guide them through the air. They had no wealthy patrons, no university laboratories, no institutional support. Their only resources were their minds, their hands, and relentless determination. Every evening, sketches of wings, gliders, and propulsion systems littered the floor. Every morning, they debated angles, weight, and airflow with obsessive precision. Curiosity became obsession. Observation became calculation. Every detail mattered because the sky would not forgive sloppiness. The brothers also studied nature closely, particularly birds. They noticed subtle adjustments in wing movement and tail orientation, translating these into mechanical designs. This was innovation born from careful observation, patience, and a willingness to risk injury. Even in failure, there was learning. Each snapped frame, each torn wing, each bruised body became data, guiding them closer to flight. Dayton's ordinary streets hid the birthplace of extraordinary ambition. In a world that mocked dreams of human flight, the bicycle shop became a laboratory of courage, innovation, and daring, a place where two brothers quietly prepared to defy nature itself. The open fields near Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, became the Wright brothers' proving grounds. These windswept sands were both teacher and tormentor, capable of lifting a fragile glider or smashing it mercilessly into the earth. Wooden frames cracked under pressure. Cloth wings tore apart mid-flight. Bodies fell hard, scraping, bruised, bloodied. Every test flight was a gamble with gravity, and each failure was brutal, sometimes terrifying. But the Wrights learned faster than they fell. They studied how the wind moved, how small adjustments to the wing could stabilize or doom the glider. Balance was a delicate negotiation between fear and precision. Even the smallest miscalculation could send the craft spiraling to the ground. They fell dozens of times, yet each crash was a teacher. Bones healed, pride ached, but knowledge grew. Critics were plentiful. Bystanders laughed. Experts dismissed them as foolish, and yet the brothers returned day after day. Each failure sharpened their understanding. Each bruise reinforced their resolve. They experimented tirelessly, noting how air pressure shifted, how tail surfaces affected lift, how glider weight distribution could change outcomes in seconds. By embracing the danger that had stopped so many before them, they discovered the principles of controlled flight. Pain, fear, and relentless trial became their guidebooks, preparing them for the ultimate challenge: powered, controlled flight, where the margin for error would be even smaller and the stakes even higher. The Wright brothers quickly realized that intuition alone could not conquer the sky. Nature was precise, and human error could be fatal. Failure was not just painful, it was costly. Wood splintered, cloth tore, instruments broke. Every experiment was a negotiation with danger, a brutal reminder that victory required more than courage. To turn fear into progress, they invented one of their greatest tools: a wind tunnel. By carefully observing miniature models under controlled airflow, they could measure lift, drag, and stability with accuracy no one else had. Every detail mattered. A single miscalculation in wing curvature or angle of attack could doom a future flight. They meticulously recorded every result, learning from failures that had once seemed cruelly random. Their methods were revolutionary, while others relied on guesswork or authority. The Wright brothers tested, measured, and analyzed relentlessly. Every torn wing, every failed glider became invaluable data. Pain and bruises became instruments of knowledge. Critics mocked their painstaking approach, but the results spoke for themselves. A scientific foundation for human flight, built from lessons learned the hard way. By confronting failure head-on, they transformed fear into insight. Every crash was a step forward, every setback a hidden advantage. And in the heart of this disciplined struggle, the brothers prepared for the moment when flight would no longer be a dream, but a terrifying, fragile reality under human control. Adding a powered engine elevated the stakes from dangerous to potentially deadly. Early engines vibrated violently, shaking the fragile craft. They were loud, unstable, and unpredictable. Any miscalculation in weight, balance, or thrust could send the plane spiraling into the ground. The risk of catastrophic failure was constant. Wilbur and Orville designed their own lightweight internal combustion engine, precise yet powerful enough to lift the fragile glider. They built propellers to translate engine torque into controlled thrust, crafting every component with obsessive care. The margin for error was razor-thin. One mechanical flaw, one misaligned bolt, one poorly balanced propeller could destroy months of work and potentially end in injury or worse. The emotional weight was immense. Each test flight was a battle with fear, exhaustion, and doubt. Yet fear sharpened their focus. Pain and risk were constant companions, but so was determination. Their obsession, courage, and methodical engineering finally produced an engine capable of controlled flight. Every measurement, every observation, and every previous crash converged into a machine that could lift human ambition off the ground. The final test was imminent, and the world was unaware of the storm about to unfold. December 17, 1903, Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. The wind cut through their clothing like icy knives. The sand stung their faces. The fragile airplane rested on the launching rail, trembling under its own weight. The brothers' hearts pounded in unison, fear, anticipation, and exhilaration blending into a single unbearable moment. The plane lurched forward, seconds stretched into eternity. The wings shivered. Gravity pressed down with the weight of 1,000 failures. The engine roared, shaking the frame, threatening to throw everything into chaos. For 12 seconds, the world changed. It wasn't graceful. It wasn't smooth. It wasn't perfect, but it was flight. Human beings had left the earth under their own power. The sky, which had once seemed untouchable, now held a new occupant, mankind itself. The brothers' faces reflected relief, awe, and quiet triumph. Every bruise, every splintered wing, every night spent measuring, calculating, and testing had led to this moment. They had faced ridicule, danger, and Fearand emerged victorious. The impossible had been achieved. Humanity would never again see the sky as untouchable. Flight transformed the world. Humans were no longer bound to the Earth. Communication, transportation, and exploration accelerated. The impossible had become reality, opening doors to new industries, new technologies, and new ways of thinking. Wilbur and Orville Wright came from a humble bicycle shop in a small town, yet their work reshaped human history. They proved that extraordinary achievement does not require wealth, fame, or privilege. It requires curiosity, persistence, and courage. Every crash, bruise, and sleepless night contributed to progress. Their journey also illustrated the hidden cost of innovation. Every flight tested not just engineering skill, but human resilience. The brothers faced ridicule, exhaustion, and the constant threat of failure. Yet they continued, guided by determination, careful study, and unshakable belief in their vision. By daring to take risks that most would never attempt, they created something enduring, the ability for humans to conquer the skies. Their story inspires generations to pursue ambitious, even terrifying dreams. It shows that true breakthroughs come to those willing to endure fear, embrace failure, and rise again stronger than before. The Wright brothers' story is a testament to courage, persistence, and the power of human ingenuity. It teaches that failure is not the opposite of success, is part of the journey toward it. Each crash, torn wing, and bruise was a lesson. Each sleepless night, each experiment, each small adjustment brought them closer to their goal. Fear was constant. Danger was ever present. And yet, the brothers learned to confront these challenges head-on. They used intelligence, observation, and methodical testing to turn terror into progress. Every setback was an opportunity to learn, every risk a chance to grow. The lesson for us all is simple yet profound. Greatness is born in the space where fear and doubt are strongest. The impossible exists only until someone refuses to quit. Wilbur and Orville Wright did not rely on luck, privilege, or shortcuts. They relied on courage, discipline, and relentless persistence. Their achievement lifting human beings into the air was not just a technological milestone. It was a symbol of what humanity can accomplish when determination overcomes fear. The sky, once untouchable, became a realm of possibility, and their story continues to inspire anyone willing to pursue a dream that seems beyond reach.